This week we are reviewing the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Is it a cosmic masterpiece or a warp pipe to nowhere? Stick around to find out. Hello all and welcome to Middle Age Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Daz. That's Phil. And this week it's the Super Mario Galaxy movie, directed by the same three guys who did the first one, and starring the voices of Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Anna Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, Brie Larson, Benny Safdie, Donald Glover, Glenn Powell, and a lot of other people. And the basic setup is Mario ventures into space this time, exploring cosmic worlds and tackling galactic challenges far from the familiar Mushroom Kingdom. And that probably should read Princess Peach does all that, and he just kind of sticks around. So, yeah, before we get stuck into this one, Phil, what are your initial thoughts coming out in the movie theatre on this one?
Like, it's just so difficult to call it a movie. No, it is. It's just so difficult to call something like this a movie, because it feels like just one big advertisement for Nintendo. And you know, I love all these characters, but I feel like I have to be fair. You know, when we did the Minecraft movie, I know some people complained and said, "Oh, you know, it's not for you. It's for kids." Blah blah blah. And I go, "Yeah, but kids still deserve a good movie." And so, but this. You know, yeah, it has all these stuff that I like. Remember this, Mario? Remember this guy? Remember this guy? Remember this tune, this music, this level, this thing, whatever. And yeah, I'm getting so many of those references, that's great. That's fantastic. But as a movie, it barely, like, the plot is so fucking pointless and thin. It's mainly just set piece without anything else. And it's just member berries stuff. You know, it's yeah, it just. Like, it's fun because it's Mario on screen for me, and that's always exciting because I've been playing Mario games since the 80s, you know, so it's always going to be exciting for me to see that and to hear the music and all the rest of it. And I think the voice acting is wonderful. You know, it looks incredible. But yeah, like, I don't want to be a miserable, you know, Peter Bradshaw about it, but I just thought it was, you know. You know, it was good because I loved all the references, but as a movie, yeah, not so much. What about you?
The exact same. It's a weird one because on one hand, you know, if you like the first movie, you're gonna like this movie to a point. If you've got kids and you have nostalgic love for Mario and all things Mario and Nintendo, you're gonna love it kind of for strange reasons because, you know, brought my 5-year-old and really enjoyed the experience watching it. But is it a good movie? No, not at all. Like, it's good for about 10, 15 minutes. I mean, the comparisons to the first one, like the first one didn't deserve as much shit as it got, and I don't think this deserves, again, as much shit as it's getting online. Some of the reviews are really fucking missing the point completely. Because these movies are reviewed in a certain way, like what you're going to get out of them. But like, this is the equivalent of Jingling Keys, the movie. It's like, yeah, look at this. Woo, look. You know, it's just fucking mad. It's madness. Like, on surface level, like, there are things that are very easy to enjoy visually and member berries. And it's just, it ticks all the boxes in terms of like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. But the first movie had a coherent plot. It had a start, middle, and end. It started well with a, you know, clear narrative and journey of these characters, and it kind of just tacked in like, oh, they're going from there to there. Let's stick Rainbow Road there, and it's just like, why is that there? Doesn't matter. But that's part of the story. Where this starts kind of strong, and it just kind of falls off a fucking cliff after about 10 or 15 minutes, where it just goes bananas, like absolute just fever dream. Just like, it's kind of, it's like, you know, here's the plot. Oh, like, oh no, forget that. Here's a cameo. Oh yeah, here's another cameo. Forget that. Oh, here's a new planet. Here's a problem solved instantly. No stakes, no this. Oh, here's the next thing, the next thing. And it's just like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Like, why, Jesus Christ. Even my daughter at one point just looked over. She just looked like she'd been slapped in the face. She just kind of like, it was just so much fucking stuff. Like, relentless pace. And I think you mentioned it to me because you saw it just before me, and you had said just there's so much madness when there's just no time to breathe at all. It's just 90 minutes of madness, and we'll kind of get into it, but they throw so much in it from all different games like Odyssey and 3D World and Galaxy, and it's just like, and Mario Wonder, and it's just like, fucking hell, like save some stuff for the third one, because this is going to make fucking $1 trillion.
And for a Mario Galaxy movie, you know, I would have thought it'd be more centered around Mario Galaxy. But like you said, Des, is you know, one of the very first scenes with the little, you know, Day of the Dead people, who I love. That's my favorite level from Mario Odyssey. I love those guys. But loads of stuff that's in it is from loads of other games. There's not really anything sticking Mario Galaxy apart from the fact that they kind of go into space. Yeah.
But like that's the whole thing about Princess Rosalina being in it with Brie Larson, who's obviously having a ball, but she's not in it that much, and she's the pivotal part of the Mario Galaxy fucking games. But she's in it for like a few scenes, and it's like it's centered around her, like it's Princess Peach's kind of story, but it's tied to Rosalina. It just kind of looked like they just don't know what they're doing in terms of narrative and story wise. It's a bit, to say it's a bit of a mess is an understatement. But let's start with the good stuff.
Oh, like I said at the start, I like the performances. I think the like Brie Larson, like you said, is having great crack, because she is a massive Nintendo fan. Like we've known that for years, and she's a gamer. So she was over the moon to be playing a character, and you can feel that she's having fun the parts where she is doing it. I don't think anybody's phoning it in. It's hilarious to me that the incredibly talented Donald Glover is playing Yoshi, and only just to say Yoshi. I mean, yeah, Vin Diesel just says I am Groot, but that's pretty much Vin Diesel's acting level. Like but it's just gas. And I loved him. I did love Yoshi. It was just great to see him in live action. Well, not live action, but you know what I mean, in an actual movie. It was probably the one thing I really missed from the first one. But for me, that's kind of where it is. It's those really good performances. Like it's not a secret now that Glenn Powell played Fox McCloud, and if it's true that there's a movie in the works with him, fantastic, because he is fucking cool, and I liked the in jokes about when they're talking. He's making in jokes about the rest of his crew and stuff, and there's some funny moments, especially from Bowser Jr., who I thought was probably my favorite character. And then when Jack Black is mini Bowser, mini King Coop, or whatever you want to call him, there's some really funny stuff. I know some of it's in the trailer. There's some funny stuff when he's tiny that I quite enjoyed. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same. I mean, obviously the animation and visuals is fucking gorgeous, like every frame pops, and some of the action set pieces are great and kind of creative and chaotic. It's a couple of kind of boss battles that are just looks fucking great and very, very entertaining for those kind of moments. But for me, the highlight is probably the score. It's probably the best thing about it. Thought it was just sensational. It's just ticking all the boxes with fucking music cues all over the place, but it was just an amazing soundtrack, and I really like the opening scene. Set it up really, really well. Just a shame it kind of didn't deliver on that. And obviously the character fan service, obviously, as you said, seeing Yoshi and Fox and a couple of other fan favorites from the games was, it's just very pleasing. But for me, like one of the best things was the kind of Bowser dynamic with Bowser and Bowser Jr. that I thought was really good, and where Bowser is when we meet him and his relationship with Mario and Luigi. I thought that was really interesting. That just gets completely abandoned.
I was going to bring that up.
So many weird things about that. Because let's just say, we'll set the scene like that. They are, like Bowser is from the last movie, still these miniatures in the trailer. But he's kind of getting along with Luigi and kind of has a little bit of saltiness with Mario. But they have this kind of relationship there, and you're kind of going, oh, they're going down this route where he's been there, long enough. We don't know the timeline, but and that kind of still plays up a little later in the movie. And something happens, and you're going, oh my God, they're really doubling down on this relationship. Are they going to try something new where Bowser Jr. is the big bad and Bowser's actually kind of pally with the Mario brothers, and it's something that just changes and it's abandoned, and it's never revisited again in the movie. There's so many things like that there's like, here's a good idea, no, let's next scene. And they just completely fucking forget about things, which I thought was baffling. And from plot wise, I mean, there's no stakes. There's it's just this thing happens. Oh, another thing happens. Okay, are they crash land the planet? What are they going to do? Oh, they fix it. Off we go. And it's just like, fucking hell, give us a second to breathe or some kind of peril, you know? And it's not too deep to expect that because in the game, that's part of the game. There is moments where you just can't get past something and there's a bit of peril. Just translate that to screen. But it was just, it was just very, very odd that way from a pacing point of view, from a plotting point of view, and just abandoning plot lines completely that were really, really interesting that could have taken the movie somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with you around the interesting plot points that could have gone down because like you, that Bowser, that dynamic between them was great. And I thought maybe we'd see almost like a Star Wars kind of thing at the end of him turning good about it. That's something along those lines, something like a payoff. The fact that we don't get a payoff for that was a bit of a bummer. Like he only really considers it for like a split second, you know, and then straight away he's bad guy again. So yeah, there's definitely that could be more interesting. The relationship, you know, between the sisters, Peach and Rosalina, I would like to see maybe a little bit more of that. Still, you know, the fact that they touched on them, maybe we'll get an elaborated in the third movie because there will be a third movie because the amount of fucking money that this is already breaking records. This is going to make an absolute fortune.
Shit ton of money.
Yeah. And where it succeeds is because I said it's like an advertisement. We talk about these kind of movies that are made and they're just it's just an advertisement for you to go and buy the toys. And when I left this, I was like, I have to go. Can't wait to go home and play Mario. And that's what I did. I went home and turned on Mario. And I think that in that way, it succeeds. I was dying to go home and and play some video games after watching it. It gives you that feeling. And I know that despite the fact that I'm ragging on this movie, if it's on and I'll in the background, 100% I'll have it on because it is just action. No matter what part you come in, you're just getting action, scene. So I will no doubt watch this one again the same way I have with the first, but just because it's aimed at people like me, fans of this particular gaming series, you know?
But that's why, I did see one review or a few different reviews that were saying like that, like the first movie, there's such a barrier to entry with this movie for non-fans of Mario or people that don't have kids and are going to, you know, making a family outing to the cinema. I thought that's like not liking horror films and going, well, that horror film is a bit of a barrier to entry for people who don't like fucking horror film. It's just like they don't care if you don't like Mario or you're not in the people that are going to see this. The first movie made $1.4 billion. Like they're kind of going, okay, that's good. Like we're going to make another one that's going to make fucking more. And if you don't like Mario and you're not into a movie like this, you're probably just going to hate it because when you subtract all that stuff away from it, all the kind of fucking shiny
Easter eggs,
warm and fluffy things for us fans and for kids, there is nothing else and that's the thing where like, just like you said, if this, like the first Mario movie, I fucking really liked it a bit more than this, but because as we've said, there's a bit more kind of structure to it and a bit more of a story to it, where this is a mishmash of fucking madness. But like the first movie, it's been on, like the kids watch it, still to this day, years after it's come out, and I've probably watched it 30 times at home. But it's a perfect movie where you can do something else, and then if a piece comes on, you know, a bit with Bowser or a bit, you know, the Rainbow Road, you'll fucking watch it. And same with this. If it's on in the background, I'll always tune into it. I'll never like not watch it. I'll probably end up getting sucked into watching it again because you can easily just be on your phone and watch it, or if the kids are watching it and you're doing something else, it's kind of eye candy, ticking boxes in a way that's not if you're looking for story structure and emotional character development and all these things that you're supposed to review movies for. But this is kind of this weird kind of entity that you just have to, you kind of review it with under a different guise, which is, it's kind of fun. It's happy. It's like, I came out of cinema going, that was kind of a bit of fun. But, you know, if someone asked you, is it a good movie? It's like, no, not at all. Not at all. But like there will be some parents that take their kids that are not, gamers or whatever, or don't really have any affection for the character or the lore of the fucking Nintendo. They'll come out and their kids will be buzzing and they'll be going, that was fucking horrendous. And you totally understand. Because yep, there's nothing there for you.
But isn't that so Nintendo though? Like it's so Nintendo is like, we don't give a fuck whether you like it or not. That's just the way they are with stuff in general. Like, oh yeah, maybe we'll have this, this game that all they have on the other consoles and our. Maybe we won't. Maybe we just don't give a shit. Maybe we're going to keep putting out our first party stuff, Pokemon games out the ban. Just fucking it's a Pokemon game every few fucking months. You've got Mario and they've got Metroid and they've got all their own stuff, and that's what they care about. On everything is on their timeline. And if you don't like it, stick it up your arse, and just that's the way they are. And that's what this, you said, that's what this is like.
Yeah, and because they're minted, they just don't give a shit. We've always said that the Nintendo community would be crying out for a remake or just a certain game on a current platform. Like bring something out for the Switch that we couldn't get for from the Wii U or something like that. And if they just did that, they just go, okay, we'll put that out there. They'd make about fucking 50 million quid, but they just go, fuck it, I just couldn't be bothered. Like okay,
well, the Zelda anniversary, fucking Zelda anniversary. I was like, right, you got to give me Twilight Princess. Just please give me that, or like a remake, HD remake, or even
everyone would buy it.
Yeah, everybody would buy it. But they're like, nah, not feel like it. Yeah, you're not getting anything for the 40th anniversary. Although there are, just off topic slightly, there are rumors that there's a remake of Ocarina. Yeah, this year, which would be fucking amazing.
Coming in November. Hallelujah.
But back to this one, like it. I guess it's difficult. If we're putting scores on it, when we get to that, you have to trying to be objective rather than being like, because it ticks all the boxes of Easter eggs for me. I was like, I know that, I remember that. It just there's loads of that, but it's a tough one. It really is a tough one because I still thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Like because it was aimed at me and children, obviously. But and at my screening, there was little kids dressed up as Mario and Luigi and stuff. Like people were.
That's fucking brilliant.
And that's class, and so it had that wonderful kind of buzz to it. But yeah, it's a weird one. But I think I agree with you, Daz, though, that the first one at least has some semblance of a kind of plot, start, middle, and end. But this is just a piece of madness after madness.
Absolutely. And there were reports for all the midnight shows in the US were all fucking sold out. IMAX shows sold out. Midnight showings of Mario, and people obviously, it's a kids movie. We're like, it's fucking not. It is for kids, but there's a load of fucking 45-year-old kids, present company included. You're not 45 yet, but it's kind of mad. It's one of those where you really kind of go, you review the movie and you review the movie experience. Where if I was to review this, it would be like, this is a 2-star movie, but a 3-star experience, maybe 3.5-star experience, and something I would have no problem watching again. Absolutely. If someone, that's on, fucking right, I'll watch that. Because it's just, it's a different, there's a different bar for gauging your excitement to this and what you're going to get from it, as opposed to what you were potentially looking for. Are you looking for story structure and all these things? You could list out all these things and you're not getting them.
Yeah.
It's just it's Mario and it's ticking all these boxes and it's just going, oh, here's another idea. Here's another idea. And it's ADHD, the movie. It's just mad. There are times where I was baffled even that just the fact that I was just like, where's Mario? It's Peach's movie. It's totally Peach's movie. Mario and Luigi. And you're kind of going, hold on, where the fuck? Yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? Fair. I love Peach. I'm always Peach as a character in Mario Kart. Fucking love her. She's cool. But also Donkey Kong's not in the movie. And you're like, where the fuck is, it's just, there's so many things that just don't make sense. But there are so many times watching it, I was just like, that doesn't make sense. This is kind of shit. But I was like, I don't care. I really just don't care. It was,
I think as a movie, as just trying to be objective reviewer, I'm going with 2 stars. But if you are into Mario and you like Mario, it's easily a 3.5 to 4-star experience if you love Mario, because it's just Easter egg after Easter egg. It's just reference after reference. Yeah. The music, the music's great. The acting is great. It's got all that. It looks incredible. and that's as a full-on Mario fan, but just as an actual movie, if you're going in cold, you don't really know a massive amount, you just want to go and see animated fun. It really is. I go
not for you,
2 stars. Like. Yeah. Tough one for us to score, really, isn't it? As two huge
really
fans.
It's like it's coming out. You're kind of going, oh, fucking yeah, I love that. What would you give it? 2 stars? That's fucking weird. So yeah, let's get stuck into some spoilers then. That Bowser Jr. and Bowser thing that I was just loving how it was going, and then like even like Bowser, they doubled down on it because Bowser is like friends with them. And then when he's small, but then he gets made big again, and you're thinking, oh shit, he's going to go bad. But he doubles down. He actually kind of sacrifices himself so they can get off world. And he's like ends up being stuck in the mines and stuff. And you're going, Jesus Christ, he really is. Is he turning good? But then Bowser Jr. just comes in and just fucking snatches him and just kind of goes, yeah, no, they're bad. And he's like, no, and actually I kind of like them. Like, no, they're bad. And it's just suddenly, oh yeah, no, you're right. Fuck it. And that's it. It's just fucking left then, and it's not touched on again at all. And you're like going, if you're going to, because you can't really do that again now because you've done it, so to retread that is kind of shit in the bed narratively. So it's just an opportunity completely missed. I was even hoping that something will come in towards the end, just bring that back in and just give some kind of narrative cohesion to some of the characters and what they're doing, because everyone's just doing fucking mad shit. Like that was the most frustrating part for me was what they teased and what they didn't fulfill.
Like that. I thought there was going to be some. Like, didn't have to be a full on redemption thing at the end where he, kills his own kid or whatever. But I thought that there'd be something where pretends that he has it. Oh, I've got a lock on. I'm going to get them. I'm going to kill. And then he purposely misses the shot. It goes, oh damn, I missed them, or something along those lines. Something where you see he does have that little bit of, he wants to have more battles with them as well, maybe, and that's what it is. But he just changes. He gets the big fucking red glowing eyes, and he's full on bad guy. And then Mario tries to kill him. Like Mario does the old thing that we get from the games. You jump under him, cut the bridge, and he falls into the lava, But then he comes back up and he's alive as a skeleton. And, then we've got fucking the skeleton Bowser. And it just, and he's evil as fuck straight away. It's a theme that I really wish they had kind of gone down a little bit more. But and the stuff with Star Fox, again, Glenn Powell, fantastic. Love Fox McCloud. But he's really just in it to give them a ride from one place to another.
That could have taken 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have any, they give a little tiny bit of a background around his crew, and he makes a couple of jokes, like when his ship isn't working or whatever, and he's like, what do you expect? My engineer is a frog, which is obviously, his little buddies. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a good reference. I had a laugh at that. But then he's just like, right, I have to go off. I have a mission off elsewhere. See you later. And he just pisses off, and we don't see him again the rest of the movie. You're like, okay, well, I assume if they're making a Star Fox movie, there'll be some reference to Mario, and off he goes on his mission. Apart from just having the character there as fan service, wasn't really any point in him being.
He didn't do anything. But that whole sequence, like obviously when he arrives, and I'm still baffled how, like, obviously maybe to try and get bums on seats, but how they leaked that would have been like 10 years ago, if this movie was made, that would have been that thing in the cinema where you're like, no fucking way, because you see the back of him first, and it's just like, oh my god, is it fucking Fox McCloud? But his whole thing, that whole sequence, like it's like 10 or 15 minutes when Bowser Jr. just suddenly just pulls out. I love the super scope fucking gun, and just turns, you get baby Mario and baby Toad and baby Luigi, and it's hilarious. And it's just the reason just to go down onto a planet to see the dinosaur on the planet from fucking Odyssey, and then kind of a chase sequence and all this, and then there's like, oh, are they in peril? And just like, no, it all gets solved. They go back to fucking normal. Luigi makes a call, and star people rescue them, and they're off again, and then they just fly like 10 seconds to the left, and they're at Bowser's planet for the finale. And you're like, it's literally 10-12 minutes of just ticking boxes fan service. There's no point to any of it. Like nothing matters in that sequence, which is kind of hilarious. But Glenn Powell is having a laugh, and that character is fucking just badass. I just really want to see the rest of his team.
That's actually just on that. Like, I think that has the idea of a makings of a better movie because plot wise, because there's not a bunch of Star Fox games, so you can there's only a certain amount of references you can do. It's going to have to have some sort of narrative, some sort of story. It's not as well known as a Mario Reader, so you might get a little bit more background. So I think we might actually get a full, mission and everything with his team, which could be pretty cool, because you don't have to go, here's a bit from Mario Odyssey, here's a bit from Mario Galaxy. As you said, Mario Wonder. There's even original Mario Brothers stuff, when Bowser Jr. is looking at them on his screen. There's so many references and things that tick boxes they want to tick. You don't really have to do that with a Star Fox movie. So maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I guess final verdict on it then. It's like visually stunning, kind of great music, great characters, chaotic in a fun way, but messy, shallow, nonsense, zero plot, kind of a shit movie and completely unfocused, I guess. If you like the first one, you'll enjoy this. And if you like Mario and you've got kids, you'll probably love it for all the wrong reasons. But yeah, that's an end to this week's review. Thanks as always for liking, subscribing and sharing and all that other stuff. And we will be back with a midweek surprise of another shit movie starring the Mario Brothers. Yeah. Talk to you in the next one.